This is a very familiar place to me, these woods, as I live barely a stone's throw from here, the woods where Barbara Mayo was killed many, many years ago. And so, being so familiar, these woods, the killing of Barbara is never, ever far away, even on a daily basis. She was killed along this track just into the woods, a short way.
In 1970, as a young detective constable, David Doxey was assigned to Barbara's murder investigation. 20 years later, he's still on the case, but now in charge of the inquiry.
This is where Barbara Mayo was murdered. Her body was actually found a short way into the wood here by some local people who were out chestnutting on the Sunday afternoon. She'd been brutally assaulted, she'd been raped, and she'd been strangled to death, a most dreadful crime.
This is the last place that Jackie Ansell was seen in March of 1970. It's a transport cafe just off the M6 near Warrington in Cheshire. And at that time, I was a newly appointed detective constable and was seconded onto the inquiry to assist in the murder investigation.
The murder of Barbara Mayo was an infamous crime and is well and truly ingrained into local folklore in these parts.
We try harder, yes we do.
If you lump it all together,
can you tell me what you got, baby?
well, you got a recipe for a little long steam.
Oh, what a beautiful dream.
There we go! Come on, come on!
Barbara Mayo was an English graduate, but hadn't yet decided on a full-time career. She'd hitchhiked her way around Europe and was now earning money in London by trading cars. She'd just arranged to collect a car from a garage in Yorkshire.
Hello, yes, it's Barbara Mayo. Yes, about the Mini. I just want to know what time you close tonight. No, that's fine, 7:30. Yep, I'll come up today.
On the morning of Monday the 12th of October 1970, she left her London flat to hitchhike north on the M1. She never arrived at the garage. Barbara's body was found off the M1 near Chesterfield. Derbyshire police immediately contacted Scotland Yard. A senior detective was dispatched from London to lead the murder hunt. Chief Superintendent Charlie Palmer decided on an unprecedented move. He brought the entire M1 to a virtual standstill. For a whole day, every vehicle at every junction along the 150-mile length of the motorway was stopped and checked. Everyone was a possible suspect. He then staged a reconstruction for the media.
Today's reconstruction of Barbara Mayo's last journey began in Rockley Road, Hammersmith, at number 40 Rockley Road, the murdered girl's home.
The girl you can see is dressed in the actual clothing of Barbara Mayo, who was murdered a short distance from the 29 intersection of the M1 motorway on Monday, the 12th of October. She is carrying a replica of the handbag which the murdered girl was carrying.
Mr. Palmer, is there any appeal you want to make to young people who might be thinking of hitchhiking up the M1?
Don't.
She is carrying a replica.
The publicity led to more than 700 reported sightings of Barbara. One in particular that police thought significant in the town of Kimberley, just off the M1 in Nottinghamshire.
Me and my mate was returning home from work and we passed the Morris Traveller parked at the crossroads. A little bit further on, and there was a nice-looking girl thumbing a lift. I said to him, if I hadn't got you with me, I would give her a lift. Looking through my mirror, I saw the Morris Traveller pick her up. They followed us down to the M1, and that's where I lost sight of them. I'm sure the girl in the Morris Traveller was Barbara Mayo.
At that time, there were some 100,000 Morris travellers on the road in Britain. Police tried to trace every one of them. For a year, the murder incident room in Chesterfield ran at full strength.
This was a vast inquiry at the time, back in 1970-71. Probably the biggest single murder hunt ever mounted by one police force. We still keep all the files, the indexes. Certainly over 120,000 people were interviewed by the police. And we keep all the vehicles on the cards, over 130,000 of them.
I would say that he was probably about 5'4". He's...
Today, there's still a small team of officers working on Barbara Mayo's murder investigation. Recently, they began looking into similarities with the murder of another hitchhiker in 1970, that of Jackie Ansell Lamb. Jackie used to carry a Japanese Airlines bag because the initials were the same as hers.
You all right?
She was 18 and very much a 60s teenager. On Sunday the 8th of March 1970, a young man she'd just met dropped her off at one of the London slip roads to the M1.
If I had the money, I'd lend you the train fare.
It's all right, forget it.
It's just I don't like you hitching all that way.
No, I said it's all right.
Do you want my phone number?
No. Here's mine. Give us a ring sometime.
She was heading back to Manchester, where she worked as a secretary. Jackie shared a lift with another hitchhiker 50 miles up the M1 to Buckinghamshire. But how she travelled further north from there isn't known.
What we do know is that between 9 and 10 p.m. that Sunday night, Jackie arrived here at the Poplar Cafe, which is just off junction 20 of the M6 near Warrington, and she was seen in the company of a man. There are a number of people who saw them here on that evening 20 years ago, and one of them, Delia Brown, is still employed here.
Now, I remember very vividly, there was a man come through the door. He went up to her, and then he came up for 2 coffees. He was smartly dressed, businesslike clothing. And within seconds, I went back down there to look around, and he was sitting with her talking. We're up there about half an hour or more. And I remember them going through the door, and I could see it was a car she got into.
Just off the M6 in woods near that cafe, a farm worker found Jackie's body. Like Barbara Mayo, she'd been raped and strangled. Although police are by no means sure they're looking for one man, there are certainly striking similarities between the murders of Jackie Ansell Lamb and Barbara Mayo. And now, 20 years on, David Doxey believes that far from being a disadvantage, the passage of time could now help the inquiry.
I'm absolutely convinced that people still hold information that could take our inquiry forward. I know that some people chose to mislead us many years ago, especially in relation to alibis. Let me say I'm not interested in pursuing legal actions against people who, for one reason or another, chose to mislead us all those years ago. Our main aim is to catch the killer.
And to that end, David Doxey is here. David, you've kept in touch with Barbara Mayo's family all these years. Do you really believe that it's not too late now for this new appeal?
Yes, we're always hopeful. We had a lot of publicity in October, the 20 years sad anniversary, of course, of Barbara's murder. And from that publicity, the public responded most encouragingly. They were able to give us information which provided a number of lines of enquiry. As a result of that, we've raised the incident room again at Chesterfield, and it's active now. The lines of enquiry in the main concern the provision of false alibis and checking them out again, and also in relation to people who we are told had cuts or scratches or grazes at that particular time, seen by people, and they were not truly accounted for. And so they harboured those suspicions over the years, but now they feel free to tell us.
So
and those are the lines of enquiry.
So the information's obviously there. Why do you think people didn't come forward in the first place?
I think it's a natural reaction and most understandable that people don't contact the police and provide information. I do understand it. They think that their information is perhaps too trivial or they will be made to look foolish. I urge them to put those fears to one side. I really don't believe that only the killer has the identity to Barbara's death, and I would urge those that have information to please contact us, if for no other reason than to remove the anguish from the close family members of Barbara and perhaps Jackie.
Well, Lawrence Mellor, you've been in touch in turn with Jackie Ansell Lamb's family all this time too. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and I'm extremely hopeful that we will receive some very good information tonight.
Is there any new evidence now that can help jog people's memories all those years ago?
Yeah, at this stage, We feel that we have everything to gain and nothing to lose, and I'm able to disclose a vital piece of evidence which has not previously been made public because it was used by detectives to eliminate suspects. Forensic scientists who examined Jackie's body recovered several pieces of carpet fibre, and examination of these fibres has shown that they're more likely to have come from a carpet roll or carpet sample rather than the vehicle in which she may have travelled. We know that on the weekend she was murdered, there had been a carpet exhibition at Earl's Court, and that Jackie was seen with a man in the Poplar Cafe who was smartly dressed and was described as a rep or a salesman. My own feelings are that Jackie's killer is likely to be a man who 20 years ago had some connections with the carpet industry, and I would ask that if anyone has been harbouring any doubts or suspicions about such a person, they contact us now.
Well, gentlemen, I hope somebody tonight will come forward and solve these two cases for you after all this time. If you do feel you can now offer any help on either of these cases, please do ring. The number, once again, 081 811 8181, or you can ring the incident room at Chesterfield on 0246 220 100. That's 0246, the code for Chesterfield, 220 100.